WEPS. WEPS. Oh, you thought I was talking Greek. Well, we are. Wicked Edge Precision Sharpeners at the Wicked Edge Expert Corner group on Facebook and YouTube. Wicked Edge Sharpeners are based on triangles. Pythagorean is a Greek mathematician that came up with a mathematical relationship between the sides of a right triangle. A triangle is 180 degrees. We're all familiar with angles. We're trying to sharpen our knives using fixed position guided angle sharpeners. And we're using different setups that all work on triangles, and the principle that in a right triangle that the three sides are 180 degrees and they have a relationship. So if you took and held and went like this and expanded that triangle so it's huge, it's still 180 degrees. And because of that right triangle, that relationship stays the same as long as whatever you do to this side, you do equally to all the other sides because that angle is fixed. That's the basis that I learned from Wicked Edge. I started with a sharpener that had Wicked Edge 100, the WE60, the carbon. They start with a basic height standard vise. The new ones, the old ones. The WE120 came with, my first sharpener, came with a riser block. So I right there learned that because it was taller, they could put in the micro adjusters. So I learned about it from back then, and I've been chasing that ever since by adding risers and understanding the relationship of the Pythagorean theorem that just says that I can expand it as long as the hardware allows me to. So that's what I do at the Wicked Edge Expert Corner, is I try to figure out how to expand the relationship on all the sharpeners. And I have been able to collect the different models so that I could work with each one to prove that I can get the shape that corresponds to the model and the height and introduce a product instead of just saying, hey, y'all should put a block underneath your riser and it'll do under your vise and it'll do it for you. I learned that early on, and I've been trying to share that with people, and I finally have a way with the risers with the Z and the stable risers. I say it's with the Z because that's what we share with you. Okay, what the riser does is it simply raises that side. So then we need to move the other side out in order to take advantage. It raises the height of the jawline. So we move the side out to keep the relationship of all the sides that are mathematically described, to keep that relationship the same. As long as you can go wide and up and across, you can do it. Well, we're limited on some of the models, and other models are bigger. The Gen 3 Pro, the Gen 4 Pro are larger, and the Wicked Edge 130, or excuse me, the Wicked Edge 100 series with the square bar, that allows you to change your vices and change your square bar, and you can make that triangle as big as possible. Now you're wondering, why do you want to make the triangle big? Well, let me give you something else that's easier to understand the space. A circle, your wristwatch. It's 360 degrees in the circle. Well, it's harder to read than the wall clock, which is also 360 degrees. It's got the same in it, but because it's bigger, the units are still there. 360 dashes, 180 dashes. But when you make it bigger, it's easier to see all the second dashes on a clock on the wall than it is on your wristwatch. So that's what we did, is we expanded it where we can. And because you expand it, then with the adjusters that we have, that we slide like this. Well, it's easier when you slide it like this when the angle is bigger, because that is coarser. But when the space is small and you're trying to, you can't do it. So what we learned with the 100 and the 120, that they were, even the 120, you saw a vast improvement over the adjustability, which allowed us to start using the micro adjusters because they really made a difference. It allowed us with a screw to dial it in within that shape, that 180 degrees, or like a clock, bigger or smaller. You can work in that bigger space. So that's why I have sought to introduce risers to all of the different kits. Now, when the risers came along, risers first, double risers for high boys and tall boys. But what this gave us was the opportunity to make an attachment point on the riser block, because the riser block, we were introducing it to you and you'd screwed in from the bottom and it stayed there and you work with it all the time and you didn't really know it was there. But it helped. And as long as it was there, we put the receivers on there. So now the riser became the opportunity to introduce the stable risers, which is the support for the handle and the tip. And this is what you can end up with on a carbon with the risers and the stable risers. So that's Greek. We're talking Pythagoras at the expert corner. Thanks.